Hi, we're Anxiety Specialists. I'm Becky.
And I'm Michael.
And today we're going to be reacting to Brave and really asking the question, is it bravery or is it just recklessness? All right, let's go. So that's her first sort of example of a really dangerous situation, and her father's bravery is really an example to her. You know, he tells his wife and child to run away, and that I'd say is bravery.
Yes, he's aware that the bear is dangerous, but he's charging forward with the spear to protect everyone.
Yeah, and that awareness comes from the fact that he's asked his wife and child to run off. So he knows there's danger there. It's not just, he's not thinking about the consequences. He is. He's thinking about the consequences of what happens if he doesn't take the bear on, that it might.
Yes, because if he was 100% confident in being successful, then they don't need to run away.
Yeah. Yeah.
A day where anything can happen.
Ugh.
That's reckless.
I will hear their every story.
Climbing, no, yeah, almost fell off.
Yeah, reckless.
Merida, I forbid it.
No, she didn't miss.
Oh.
She cut the arrow right in half. Sorry, I cut out that bit because it was quite a long clip for what it was. But no, she goes along firing an arrow at each of the targets that these other guys have been trying to win her hand in an archery contest, and she's like, takes them all out. Just embarrasses all of them to be like, I can be my own person, I don't want to marry anyone. But the recklessness, I think that's reckless in the sense that she hasn't thought through the consequences of embarrassing all the tribes and the potential war that could come out of it for her kind of showing off her archery skills.
Absolutely. Yep,
So that, I say, is another example of recklessness. It seems to be a bit of a pattern here, is how reckless she can be.
She's upset at the horse.
I think you missed that last clip, but the witches did this brew, and she's pulled down like one of those visors that you do when you're doing like welding, and she's like just staring directly at it with her eyes. The witch is like, excuse me, and then there's this massive light blast, and it's like another reckless, like she's so unaware of her surroundings in that one. But the one before, where she's on the horse, like she's had a upsetting conversation with her mum, and then she just jumps on a horse and just rides while crying, and it's just like she's not in control of the animal at all. So, and then she blames the animal, which you're gonna see is a bit of a running thing for her at the moment.
You're sure if I give this to my mum, it will change my fate?
Oh, trust me.
Trust her.
It'll do the trick, dearie.
It'll do the trick. Yeah, trust random witch you only just met with this piece of pastry that has come out of this boiling cauldron. Like, yeah, they'll be fine.
It's not even a scheme per se. It's
Brave or reckless?
Pretty reckless.
It's pretty reckless.
That scaffy witch gave me a gammy spell. It's not my fault. I didn't ask her to change you into a bear. I just wanted her to change you.
Fair.
I think that's a really fair response.
Especially when you're a bear.
Gammy witch gave me a gammy smell, and the mum's like, what? And again, like, it's not my fault, it's the witch's fault. But who is the one who trusted the witch? So there's this pattern, this clear pattern of recklessness.
Do you want to define recklessness?
Yeah, well, recklessness, I was looking at the dictionary definition, and I won't get it word for word, but it's basically not considering the possible dangers, consequences of your actions. And
Impulsiveness, that kind of thing, yeah.
However, how normal is recklessness for a teenager? Is that pretty normal?
Yeah. Well, there's the invincibility complex and less developed prefrontal cortex. So there's going to be less future thought about what could happen, those consequences and that kind of thing. So fairly normal, yes.
Yeah. So she's acting like a normal teenager at this point, but because of her actions, it's causing some pretty detrimental stuff. And because of her station as well, because she's royalty, her actions don't just impact on her, they also impact on the wider community.
I mean, the activities she chooses are like a bit more extreme than a lot of teenagers would go. I mean, the average teenager doesn't climb up a precipitous cliff and ride on a gigantic war charger and go visit witches.
Yeah. Yes.
Mom, is that you? Mom?
Now here in this one, I think she's starting to see, she's seeing that her mum's changed into a bear, but she's like actually changing into a bear, like the whole nature of a bear. And I think in this clip, she actually is seeing the danger. She's considering the consequences, but she's bravely leaning in because she doesn't want to lose her mum.
Yeah.
So I say this
brave.
This one,
Yep.
brave.
It's pretty scary. There's a lot of bones.
Yes, climb.
Leap of faith.
Oh my god. So, there, like again, she's aware of how dangerous Mordu is because he took the leg of her father.
Right.
So, like, he's pretty intense, and but she like tries doing the arrow, which I think is very brave. Then she realizes that's not having any effect. She runs. Then I think the jump is brave as well.
Yeah.
Because even when people need to make a jump for their safety, sometimes you can still hold back if you're.
Yes, fear's inhibitory.
So I think she's starting to show a lot of bravery. She's growing.
I've been selfish. I tore a great rift in our kingdom. There's no one to blame but me. And I know now that I need to amend my mistake.
Taking ownership.
Amend our bond.
I think standing up and saying, this was my fault. I'm going to take ownership. I need to mend the bond between the clans. That's brave. Like, that's bravery.
Get back! That's my mother!
Are you out of your mind, lass?
Mum, are you hurt?
Okay, standing up to her father. Brave, I think. Knowing how he feels about bears. Standing between him and a bear. That's brave. So I think that's an interesting one because she distracts him with those arrows to start with, which is brave because she's turning his attention to her. And then she's trying to fire as he's approaching. Interestingly, like, she loses the ability to fight back. And then she does that helpless scream. I think she's starting to...
Which would also distract him.
That's the first time I've actually seen her look like the whole helpless princess sort of side of things. It's interesting that her mum saves her at that point.
If I was in that position, I'd probably look like a helpless princess.
I know! Terrifying. Yeah. He comes down very slowly though. If I was the big bear,
Handy.
I would just go, not like this.
You've got to toy with your
Not
food.
more efficient. But anyway. I get crushed by the rocks. Yes! So, yeah, all of that, those interactions, I think she's showing real bravery, but you can't really have bravery without understanding the danger.
No, you cannot. That's how the definition works. Yep, you need to understand the danger, but yet carry forward anyway.
Yeah, whereas previously she's not even considering the dangers, and so it's recklessness. It's not really bravery because she's not challenging any sort of fear.
I did this to you. To us.
Apologise.
I love you.
Love you. Taking ownership. So the first one is her really owning the situation. Like, it takes bravery to turn around and say you've mucked up, and she mucked up big time. Like, there's muck-ups and then there's muck-ups. Turning your mum into a bear is a big one. But then also there's a courage and bravery in actually sharing our love for somebody as well.
Yeah, it's very vulnerable.
And then so she's showing emotional growth and bravery and courage there.
It's a human hand.
Mum, you're back.
So the last one we've got her mum turns back because they mend their bond together. I think the last one is another form of bravery because she's leaning into the joy of getting her mum back and actually leaning into being joyful when good things happen is courageous, because it's very easy to go, when's the next
foreboding joy.
Yeah,
it's hard to just stay in the joy, stay in that vulnerability of enjoying the present.
So can you said foreboding joy, can you just wrap up what foreboding joy is?
So foreboding joy is when we jump from the joy that we're feeling to, what if I lose this? So say we're hugging our kids and we're like, oh, this is so nice. Then the brain can jump to going, what if they died, or what if I lost them, or what if they hate me when they're teenagers or something, right? We can jump into thinking about a negative future, and that's called foreboding joy.
And so leaning into the moment and embracing that joyful moment is an act of courage as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. That is our take on Brave, and if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to our channel, and we bring out lots more videos like that. See ya.